Is it possible for you to say?
It's not possible for me to say the budget, but it's a Jan Ryman film, so the budgets are normally between 10 or 12
13,
lakhs.
10
Well,
to
but this film was made very long ago. It's 2001, so God knows what it was. And anyway, that's not really very germane. I can tell you a bit about the time. Sharna, who made the film, is from NID. She ran into Manjubain when she was in NID. She encountered her first while studying in Ahmedabad. And she was very fascinated by her. And over the years, she kind of kept in touch with her. But she, as Sharna has said, like, I was scared to ask her anything. And Sharna, if anybody, Sharna herself is a very timid person. She's very warm and open, but doesn't like to intrusively ask people things, right? So I think she just had this kind of relationship with Manjubain, which was a little bit from the outside, but not really questioning anything, just taking Manjubain at face value and wanted to make this film. And when Sharna edited this film at Studio Agnitar, which was owned by a friend called Tibu, and I also edited a film at the same time there, which is how I first met her. And she would keep saying, see, I'm not a feminist or anything, I'm not making a kind of activist movie or anything, because she didn't actually look at Manjubain from the lens of, it's the type of person, I'm going to make some comment about gender, transgender, and feminism and masculinity, nothing. She just was amazed by Manjubain as a person, and I think she brings that through to us wonderfully.
She's beautifully captured the moods of the person. And
so I think it was a 10 or 12 year, at least 8 or 9 years that she knew Manjubain before she shot the film. And it's not like she knew Manjubain very closely, but she knew her over a long period of time. And I think the film is just really shot over a few days. What's going on, and you have a relationship with the character, and you try to film depending on what you're learning also as you go along, right? So you can't, the fun of documentaries is that, of course, you can plan some things, you can plan an approach, an aesthetic, a mood that you want to evoke, but the delight and difficulty of documentary is that it is a kind of also a performance activity of the filmmakers who are shooting the film, that they have to be very alive to the moment and to whatever it's giving, and not stick only to some script they had before, because then they'll come away with not actually a film that they were making, but some other, like notional object.
Made a very interesting impact, in fact.
We'll tell her. Thank you.
As it were, it was my long chapter on Mani Ratnam that I've actually talked about cars in Indian cinema. So when I was watching this, and I haven't seen the second one, and I've seen the first two, but it's lovely to have the projection, and it's actually a different kind of logic sets in, because the way in which you'd set it up, right? What I was curious getting in is, of course, the notion of the car accident itself, right? Which is sort of what I was hoping, and which would be another way of thinking about contingency, etc., right? From Ajantrik, and a moment in Ajantrik, actually, it is the moment which looks documentary, is when the car actually has an accident. And you've got the kind of the Adivasis walking across at that point, right? So I thought, oh, how lovely, because that was the recording moment, and it's a film about cars and mechanical stuff. So in that sense, what was interesting and cheeky, as Mukul had said about Ruchir's film, what I found kind of a little off, that it didn't feel about cars at all. It felt actually it was about video making. It didn't, in the sense, if there was a metaphor, it felt like this was the film that was going to use the analog, that of a car, to actually talk about video technology. End of driving altogether. It's about the screen. It's about not driving anywhere. And it's about sort of sitting there, and you can do whatever you want with your screen. You can move screen, stop, left, etc. In the sense your motility is of a different order altogether. So in a way, it felt like the circle was different. In a very odd way, it felt like Manjubain was actually a recall of an analog, though it was not shot on. It looked more like an analog film and shot so beautifully. But the middle film felt like, okay, this is what it's going to look like if we don't move at all. Like, okay, I've got a car, but it's nothing. No, okay, people are moving. It's also about just sort of staring out of the window and not moving. So it's about the lack of movement altogether, which is very odd, but it's so lovely because it's about the information highway or whatever else you might want to think about it. Anyway, thanks for the great programming.